On the broadcast tonight, interim. President Carter has announced her interim successor. We have the latest.
Pulling out, President Biden has announced that all troops will be out of Afghanistan by September 11th.
And sweet makeup, how Hershey's is entering the cosmetic industry.
All of that and more right now on SUTV News.
Good evening and welcome to SUTV News. I'm Brady Fisher.
And I'm Marley Bowman. This morning, SHIP students received an email announcing the new interim president of Shippensburg University. Mansfield University President Charles Patterson will assume the role as interim president. Patterson believes that he can keep Shippensburg out of the integration models that other higher state schools are currently going through.
I'll say too that I think Shippensburg is in a position where it can counteract the enrollment decline that they've seen over the last, 5, 6, 7 years. There's ways to overcome that. There's ways to grow. You've got great facilities. You've got new programs that are coming on board. You've got a new space for engineering. There's a lot of things that can be leveraged to ensure the continued growth of Shippensburg.
Dr. Patterson is scheduled to start at SU on June 30th. Shippensburg University announced earlier today that vaccines will be distributed on campus next week. The university is partnering with Park Avenue Pharmacy in Chambersburg, and shots will be available in the Cub Airport Lounge from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, April 21st. These vaccines are Pfizer vaccines and are available by appointment only, and there is a limited amount of shots available. The second dose appointment will be scheduled once you get your first dose, which will also be held in the Cub Airport Lounge.
While it may be exciting that everyone in PA is now eligible for the COVID vaccine, multiple government officials are warning people not to post their CDC cards to social media. Every vaccine card not only shows your name and birth date, but also some medical information scammers can use against you, even leading to identity theft. Each card is labeled with the type of vaccine and clinic you received it from, and people are using it to create multiple COVID-19 related scams, such as pretending to be contact tracers. The Federal Trade Commission also warns it can even give identity thieves personal information and access to your tax return. While cybersecurity experts have not seen any instances of this type of identity theft, they do say it is, quote, easy to execute and scammers will find a way to take advantage of the situation, end quote. Health officials are also warning those vaccinated to hold off on getting your cards laminated, due to the possibility of booster shots being needed. Pennsylvania is making changes to its Move Over law, which will take effect on April 27th. The updated law will require drivers who are unable to merge into an outside lane to slow down to 20 miles per hour less than the posted limit. Not adhering to the new law will result in a minimum of 2 points on your license. Additionally, there are fines ranging from $500 for a first offense to $2,000 for a third offense. A third offense would also result in a 90-day license suspension. Lastly, the law adds double fines for traffic violations committed in an emergency response area, and fines of up to $10,000 for injuring or killing emergency responders. Now let's go over to Robin Clawwitter, who has a look at what's coming up in the Slate this week.
Coming up this week in the Slate, our news section will have coverage of the SU interim president appointment. The opinion section will feature this week's Slate Speaks editorial, as well as features from staff columnists, including a commentary on the struggles that freshmen face during their first year at SHIP. Arts and entertainment will feature a commentary on the Jazz Pep Band concert. And finally, our sports section will have features on former SU football player TJ Smink, who beat lymphoma, and current softball player Hannah Marsteller. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at ShipUSlate, and be sure to pick up the next edition of The Slate Tuesdays on newsstands or read anytime at theslateonline.com.
President Biden announced Wednesday that all remaining troops will be pulled out of Afghanistan by September 11th of this year, marking the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. SUTV's Jacob Hitz has more.
On Wednesday, President Biden said,
"It's time to end America's longest war."
From the same room, former President George W. Bush announced troops were entering Afghanistan in October 2001. President Biden is pulling the plug on America's longest war. Biden says he spoke with the former president before making the decision.
I spoke yesterday with President Bush to inform him of my decision. While he and I have had many disagreements over policy throughout the years, we're absolutely united in our respect and support for the valor, courage, and integrity of the women and men of the United States Armed Forces who served. I'm immensely grateful for the bravery and backbone that they have shown through nearly 2 decades of combat deployments. We as a nation are forever indebted to them and to their families.
Secretary of State Blinken visited Afghanistan on Wednesday and had this to say to the troops stationed there.
I am constantly in awe of what you've achieved, what you're doing, and I know this is a moment for many of mixed emotions. These are hard choices, hard decisions.
Not all politicians like President Biden's decision. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham.
If he doesn't change his mind, and I beg you, President Biden, reevaluate this. Don't lock yourself in, because things are going to change quickly in Afghanistan for the worse. Al-Qaeda and ISIS are going to benefit very quickly from this decision.
President Biden visited Arlington National Cemetery on the heels of his announcement. The withdrawal begins May 1st, and all soldiers will be out of Afghanistan by September 11th, the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. For SUTV News, I'm Jacob Hitz.
Following another death at the hands of police officers, more public outcry has swept Minneapolis in the midst of an ongoing Derek Chauvin trial. SUTV's Adam Beam has the latest.
While the world continues to keep its eyes on the ongoing trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin for the death of George Floyd, more social unrest and protest have begun following another shooting death at the hands of police officers. On Sunday, 20-year-old African-American Dante Wright was pulled over by Minneapolis police for a traffic violation. Once the officers had Mr. Wright pulled over and discovered that a warrant was out for his arrest, there was a struggle, in which Wright attempted to re-enter his vehicle. In the graphic body cam footage, we see Officer Kim Potter draw her weapon and shoot into the vehicle, killing Wright on the scene. Chief Tim Gannon of the Brooklyn Center Police Department stated that he believes that Officer Potter attempted to draw her taser. In the body cam footage, we can hear Officer Potter yell taser multiple times before opening fire. Over the past several days, we've seen rallies and unrest in cities like New York, Chicago, and of course Minneapolis, which has seen the heaviest of the unrest. The biggest voice in the outcry has been Wright's mother, Katie, who was on the phone with her son at the time of his death.
He was my son, and I can never get that back. Because of a mistake, because of an accident.
As previously stated, this incident comes at a critical moment for the U.S. as the Derek Chauvin trial could reach a verdict in the coming week, as well as the release of the body cam footage that shows 2 officers pepper spraying and restraining Lieutenant Karen Narazario, who now plans on taking legal action against the 2 officers. With so much turmoil in the nation, President Biden had this to say on the matter.
Dante Wright in Minnesota, that god-awful shooting and resulting in his death, and in the midst of an ongoing trial over the killing of George Floyd, and Lord only knows what's happened based on what the verdict will or will not be there.
As of Thursday, April 15th, protests have continued. However, both Officer Potter and Chief Tim Gannon have both resigned from their positions, and Potter in particular has been charged with second-degree manslaughter. For SUTV News, I'm Adam Beam.
He is known as the mastermind behind the biggest Ponzi scheme in U.S. history and the face of mistrust in Wall Street. Bernie Madoff has died at the age of 82. Madoff went to prison in 2009 after pleading guilty to numerous accounts of fraud in the midst of the housing crisis, fraud that resulted in losses of $68.4 billion. Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison. For anyone who is unaware, a Ponzi scheme is a form of fraud that lures investors and pays profits to earlier investors with funds from more recent investors. Madoff attempted a plea for an early release in February of 2020 after being diagnosed with a fatal kidney disease that left him with 18 months to live. The world is in mourning after Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, died early last Friday. The Duke was the longest-serving royal consort in British history, serving for over 6 decades along his wife, Queen Elizabeth II. The Duke involved himself in over 800 organizations and showed great interest in environmental conservation. His death comes nearly 4 years after his retirement from royal engagements. He was 99.
The CDC is pausing the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine due to a rare linkage of blood clots. SUTV's Cody Parson has more.
The CDC and FDA are bringing a pause to the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine after 6 reported cases of rare and unusual blood clotting. Symptoms have appeared 6 to 13 days after vaccination. The 6 cases are nearly out of 7 million doses that have already been given. Some states have already delayed the Johnson & Johnson vaccine due to an unrelated production problem. The same states have also put a pause on the vaccine as well. Experts have said overall that the benefits of the vaccination still outweigh COVID's risks. Those who have received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine within the last 3 weeks and experience shortness of breath, severe headaches, or leg pain should reach out to their healthcare provider. This is Cody Parson for SUTV News.
Now let's head over to Angel B. Money, who has a look at this week's weather.
Cloudy day full of scattered showers. The sun shines its way into next week, but rain is still in the forecast, so throw on a raincoat and pack your umbrella. Tonight, temps dip into the low 40s with wind gusts up to 14 miles per hour. Tomorrow, a high of 54 with overcast skies and scattered showers in the forecast. Looking ahead, temps rise this weekend into the low 60s on both Saturday and Sunday. Temps remain in the low 60s with sun through Monday. However, temps rise on Tuesday with a high of 69 and low 60s to close out the week. Get out there and have some fun in the sun this weekend. That's all for the weather this week. I'm Angel B. Money. Now back to Marley and Brady at the desk.
Reeses is getting in the cosmetics business. Yes, Reeses, the chocolate peanut butter candy. It has teamed up with HipDot to launch a makeup line. It might smell like chocolate and peanut butter, but unfortunately, it's not edible. The collection features 2 eyeshadow palettes in milk chocolate and white chocolate, 2 lip balms, and 2 makeup brushes. It's on sale now at Ulta, HipDot, and Hershey's websites. Well, Marley, I don't wear makeup, so I think I'm just going to stick to the regular Reese's peanut butter cups.
Well, chocolate and makeup in a package sounds like a sweet deal to me. And that's our broadcast for tonight. I'm Marley Bullman.
And I'm Brady Fisher. Be sure to follow all of our social media at SUTV News and check out our website at sutvnews.org.
We're back with sports on Tuesday. Until then, good night.